Welcome to whitetail season here at AmericanHunter.org. We're into the last week of September now, less than a week away from opening day in many parts of the country. And that also is the same case here. We open on October 1st for the archery season. We've had a lot of fun with these youth hunts. We got out again last weekend, and our daughter Jordan passed up a nice 2.5-year-old 8-pointer. So we're going to continue with the youth hunting here for a few more days. I believe we've got almost another week until that's over. But then it's going to be the game is going to be kind of more on my court, and I've really started to form a plan here for some of these deer that I'm going after. We've got these 4 bucks on the hit list, and the one I'm going to focus on today is this one that I've nicknamed Big. And that one is starting to come together. That one is starting to pull together in my mind as far as what we can do to kill this deer. And finally, after all the mistakes I've made in the past seasons hunting this deer, combined with the trail camera photos that I've been getting here this season, I finally have a conclusion, and I think I know where I'm going to shoot this deer. If I'm going to get him, I think I know which tree I'm going to shoot him out of. We've already talked about the one spot back on the 1-acre clover field, and that's still a good candidate. But what we're getting now on these trail camera photos is a clear snapshot of where this deer lives. And he is not covering any ground at all. I mean, from what we can tell, he's living in about a 40-acre area right now. And we're going to run a few more cameras around the fringe of that area. But basically, it looks like the deer is just living down in this little part of the valley right here. And all the photos that we're getting, there's a little small crossing right at the bottom, right on the edge between 2 clover fields. And he always comes into that from the south, coming in from the south, and there's a big ridge up here to the south of where we're getting the photos. We're getting the photos right here down in this bottom. So he's either bedding on this little secondary ridge right here or on this great big, it's almost a 1/4 mile long ridge right here. So anyway, bottom line is we have another camera just a little ways down the valley. We're not getting it. And I'm going to run another one further up on top of the ridge and see if he's coming out on that end. My gut feel is just living in this little bottom, in this little hole. There's clover down there, there's water down there, there's lots of cover around there, lots of oak trees with acorns dropping, a lot of white oak. This deer doesn't have to go anywhere. So that means that if I'm going to be hunting this deer early in October, I need to hunt him somewhere near this area. And this is the first year that we've gotten any daytime pictures of this buck, and we've been getting them repeatedly now. He's 6.5 years old, and for whatever reason, maybe it's the time of year, or maybe it's just his personality is changing just enough now to make him more interesting to hunt. But we're getting daylight pictures of Big, and lots of them. So we can probably take advantage of that, and where we do it is not where I've traditionally hunted this area. In the past, I've hunted a tree stand right down in the corner of this 1-acre clover field. Stand is right here, and really, it was kind of a stand that I put up almost out of desperation, or let's say out of maybe a lack of real foresight. But once I had it in there, I continued to hunt it anyway. You get down into this bottom, it's really tough to hunt any kind of a bottom because the winds will swirl. And you have to go through, in this case, we have to go through a lot of potentially deer holding habitat in order to get down into that bottom to hunt him. Yeah, we're a stone's throw, 100 yards away from where we're getting all the trail camera pictures of this deer. But I've hunted that stand for a couple of years, and we've never seen him down there. In fact, over the years, we've seen very few mature bucks down in this little small bottom. So there's 2 things happening there. We're going in too far, and we're bumping deer. They see us or they hear us, or we got to go in on this ridge, and we get down in there, and it's down in the bottom where the wind is swirling. They might be smelling us once we're on stand as well. Not only that, but we cross one heavy trail going down in there. So they're going to have to encounter and deal with our human scent anywhere between here and here. So obviously, the step is to not go in that far. Don't go clear into that bottom. And we're going to pull back. This afternoon, I'm going to go out and I'm going to put a tree stand up about 1/3 of the way down into that bottom. So we're going to be still up on top of the ridge. Lots of white oak that are dropping acorns right in that area. This heavy trail coming across the top of the ridge and dropping down into the bottom further down around the corner. And I believe that if I'm going to kill that buck anytime soon, and maybe even clear into the rut, that's where I'm going to do it. I can sneak in there. This is real thick right in here. I can slip through there, just a quick little 25 yards, 30 yards into the timber. I'm in the stand. I don't have to go in there and bump a bunch of deer all the way down to the tree stand as it was in the past. So that's the plan here. There's a couple things really that I'm trying to give you as a lesson out of this. And the most important lesson here is that once you've pegged a buck's range, and really his core area more specifically, and this deer we really feel like we've got him pegged right down to a small area, it makes most sense to peck around the edges of that and not go too deep into it, especially when you don't have the perfect wind advantage and you don't have a great entry and exit route. If he's bedding up here, which is where I think he's at, working his way down in this bottom, at some point, he's likely to use that heavy trail, swing over the top of that ridge, munch on a few acorns, and we'll have a crack at big before the season's over. So come back again next week. Maybe I'll even have him by then. I appreciate you joining us today on Whitetail Season right here at AmericanHunter.org.